Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Western Association for College Admission Counseling's virtual college fair. We're excited that you're here. We have a great group of colleges and presenters lined up for you this afternoon, and so we're excited to share some hopefully helpful information with all of you. I'm just going to go through a few housekeeping announcements before we get started. First, your cameras and microphones are turned off, so don't worry, we can't see you or hear you. Hopefully you can see and hear us okay though. If for some reason you can't, send us a message using the Q&A button and we will be happy to help troubleshoot that with you. Speaking of the Q&A button, that's really your best way to engage with our presenters and colleges this evening, or this afternoon. So as you have questions about colleges you might be interested in, feel free to drop those in the Q&A at any point. Starting now, you can do it before a college presents, while they're presenting, or after. We will all be monitoring those questions throughout the whole session and are happy to answer those as they come in. This is just one of many sessions being offered today, so be sure to check that StriScan website where you signed up for any additional sessions you might be interested in, as well as the session recording from today will be available within about a week on that website as well. So before I turn it over to our next presenter, I wanted to show you what our schedule looks like for today. So we are at the bottom here, session B12. So we are going to start with Scripps College, go to Chapman University, University of Redlands, California Lutheran University, Whittier College, and Occidental College. And so with that, I'm going to turn it over to Scripps College to kick things off. Jessica, you're muted.
I know. Okay, sorry. Working on a Sunday, not on my A game. All right, let me share my screen real quick and we will get started in just a second. All right. Okay, so yes, hi, my name is Jessica Johnston. I am an Associate Director of Admission at Scripps College, and I want to highlight three particular things about Scripps for you today. One is our location, one is our academics, our core curriculum, and then the fact that we're a women's college. So that's kind of some of the particulars that I want to hit on today. First off, we are in, well, we're all in Southern California today, so we're in the town of Claremont. We're kind of on the eastern end of Los Angeles County, and we are part of the Claremont Colleges Consortium. So Claremont Colleges are 5 undergraduate liberal arts colleges that are all literally across the street from each other. So you can basically trip and fall and end up on a different college campus. And you'll know when you have, because suddenly the plants and the architecture are very different. So as a student at Scripps, you can take classes on the other campuses. That's highly encouraged. Generally speaking, you can also major in things taught on the other campuses. You can go to events elsewhere. You can join clubs elsewhere. You can eat in any of the dining halls. So you really can mix and mingle basically as much as you like or not. It's totally up to you. Scripps has about 1,000 students, so we're pretty teeny tiny, but the Claremont colleges as a whole have about 6,000 undergraduate students. So you're always getting to meet new people and experience new things in the our kind of like little Claremont colleges kind of, I guess, mega campus of 5 colleges in one. Then I want to move on a little bit to talk about our curriculum. So we have something that is our kind of signature academic program, something that all Scripps students do and only Scripps students do. This is a series of 3 classes you'll take that will not have any students from the other colleges in these classes. After that, kind of all bets are off. You may have students from the other Claremont colleges in pretty much any other class. So these 3 classes are called the core curriculum in interdisciplinary humanities. So the idea behind this is that it's a 3-course sequence, and it's designed to give you a foundation in interdisciplinary thinking, looking at something from a really big idea from lots of academic points of view. So you'll start in your first semester of your first year taking Core 1. It's by far the biggest class you'll ever take at Scripps because it's taught to the entire first year class all at one time. So you'll have lecture once a week with everybody and the discussion sections generally twice a week, and those are significantly smaller, more around like 20 students or so, and led by a faculty member. As a small liberal arts college, we don't have any graduate students, we don't have any graduate student TAs, so all of our classes and these discussion sections are taught by faculty members. So there's always an overarching theme to Core 1. Right now that theme is truth. It changes up every few years. So previous themes have been community, violence, human nature, and human difference. So always something really big and broad. And then each week the lecture is given by a different professor from a different department. So that's where you're getting that interdisciplinary look at this one big idea. After Core 1, you move on to Core 2. The structure is very different, so you'll have a variety of different topics to choose from rather than the big lecture with everybody. But the one thing that is similar is that all those classes will somehow be interdisciplinary in nature. So for example, many of them are team taught by 2 professors in different departments. And then you'll wrap up with Core 3. So if you're keeping track, this is your first semester of your second year. And Core 3 is similar to Core 2. You'll have a variety of different topics to choose from, but it's project-based. And so the idea behind this is that it'll be good practice for when you eventually do your senior thesis. All Scripps students will do the core program. All students will do a senior thesis of some sort. And these are meant to be the bookends of your academic experience at Scripps. Finally, I want to talk about the fact that we're a women's college, which makes us quite unique. And so of the other Claremont colleges, the rest are all coeducational. So as a women's college, our students really get to kind of have their cake and eat it too. You can have a very typical college social life like you see on TV without feeling like you're missing out on anything. But you also get to have this special experience of being at a women's college, which hardly anybody gets to have. So I want to acknowledge that there are some misconceptions about women's colleges, that it's going to be like a nunnery or a bunch of backstabby, catty, mean girls and all of that. And that's really just not the case. What you really see at a women's college is a group of people, the students, faculty, and staff, who've made an intentional decision to join a community that is dedicated to the success and empowerment of women. And if you really sit down and think about it, you probably can't think of a whole lot of other organizations or schools or businesses or whatever that can say that they are dedicated to the success and empowerment of women. So we do think about things a bit differently. Now, your day-to-day life at a women's college is not going to be dramatically different than at any other small liberal arts college, because we are still a small liberal arts college and a lot of those kind of principles are still there. But there are some of these things we think about a little bit differently, like implicit bias as it relates to gender in the classroom. How can we combat that? How are faculty teaching? Are they teaching in a way that's conducive to the way in which women learn? So some of these things are a little bit different. I would also say that women's colleges talk a lot about community. Small liberal arts colleges do too, but at women's colleges, there's just sort of this kind of heightened camaraderie, I think, that you sense. And I think one thing that at Scripps in particular, our students are really good at understanding that success is not a zero-sum game. Your success, your accomplishments don't take away from mine. We can both be awesome and we can inspire each other and inspire our peers, be inspired by our peers. Women's college is a place that really values ambition, but also making sure that you're always bringing other people along with you as you climb whatever ladder it is you choose to climb. So there are a lot of perks, I think, to being at a women's college. I could talk about it forever, but I don't have forever. I'll wrap it up there. I will be happy to answer any other questions that you might have in the Q&A.
Awesome, thank you so much. Okay, next up, we are going to Chapman University.
Everybody, let me get my screen shared and then we should be good to go, if I can remember how to do any of this. Awesome. Well, hi, everyone. My name is Garrett Addison. I'm one of our assistant directors of admission at Chapman. I've been with Chapman, including my undergrad years, for over 10 years, so it's been like a second home to me. Just some quick facts about Chapman. We are considered a medium-sized liberal arts institution with about 7,500 undergraduate students, and then just under 2,500 graduate, and law students. We were recently designated as an R2 institution as well, so we do have high levels of research and creative activity for all of our students. That medium size, we've been able to keep down our average class sizes and that student to faculty ratio, because at Chapman, it's all about having a personalized educational experience inside and outside of the classroom. We have a ton of different academic programs. Some of our newest ones all are within our Keck Center of Science and Engineering, which has been pretty fun. Computer engineering, electrical engineering, software programming. It's been really fun to see. The Keck Center opened up last year. It's gigantic. I'll talk about it a little later. But we have 52 different majors and 72 different minor programs. All students on campus will do a major, a minor, and also have a general education. Similar to Scripps, we do one course that everybody takes. It's called a first-year foundation course. There are different variants to it, and you'll get to choose something that kind of interests you a little bit more to make sure that you are actually taking classes that you're excited about. Our students are pretty diverse, coming from all over the globe, 48 different states, 79 different countries. And we also send our students all over the globe, with over half of our student body completing a study abroad program at one time or another. Campus itself is located obviously in Southern California. We're right in the heart of Orange County. So we've got Disneyland and Angel Stadium right in our backyard, easy access to the beaches, different mountain ranges for skiing and snowboarding. And then of course, Los Angeles up north, anywhere from an hour to 8 hours of a drive, if you know that well, and San Diego down south about an hour and a half. One of the perks of being right in the middle of Orange County is that you get easy access to a lot of different types of areas, being able to, ski and surf in the same day. And also the average temperatures, I mean, that's something that I can't get over. I moved up to Seattle for a couple of years. This is something that I missed a ton. Having, 70-degree weather, January to February, was really, really nice to have. Our location itself is really open in the city of Orange. We're really integrated with the Orange community itself. We actually provide discounted tickets to any of our student fundraisers or shows, the dance shows, music shows, any of our undergraduate film screenings. We allow Orange community residents to come in as well. So we consider ourselves really integrated in there. This is what a typical student involvement fair would look like if we were in person on campus, which we're hoping to get back to really soon. But it's something that we really, I think, pride ourselves on, is making sure that we are super, super integrated with the actual Orange community. As a whole, for our students, we have a lot of different ways to get involved. We offer Division III athletics, club sports, and intramural sports as well for students. With D3 sports, there are no scholarship opportunities, but it is a way to kind of balance that student life and that athletic life as a whole. Your coaches are understanding that you're a student first and foremost. Study abroad programs, like I said, we have programs all over the globe. They're not limited to specific majors. Any student can have a study abroad experience at whatever time they choose. We just ask, obviously, that you plan ahead, and we have the resources to do so. And then, of course, a lot of different artistic opportunities. We are pretty known for our film production program, but we have programs in music, dance, theater, screen acting, and all of those different shows are open to the Orange campus, or excuse me, the student body, with free tickets. That's all stuff that we provide for the students to make sure that they can go see. Outside of that, I just want to give you some facts about the incoming class that we had last year for fall 2020. A little over 14,000 total applications, about a 58% admission rate. You can see some of those averages there. The one thing that I like to point out is that SAT, ACT average. Those are now non-existent. We are test optional. We went test optional this year, and we will be test optional for all future years, which is really exciting for us. It was something that we decided to do pre-pandemic, and then got the affirmation that that was probably the right move anyway. Also, one of my favorite fun facts, our incoming class was about 16% first generation students who were the first ones in their family to attend and graduate from a four-year institution. This year's incoming class that we just wrapped up is about 17.5%. So that is growing, and it's always nice to see. I want to give you a quick glance at our timeline. We use the common application that'll open up usually on August 1st. There's two different deadlines, November 1, which is early action and early decision. Remember, the early decision is a binding agreement, and then regular decision, which is January 15th. And then obviously everybody can make their deposit by May 1st. I do want to have some clarification because I know that we have some students in here that are interested in some of these different premier programs: film production, screen acting, theater performance, television writing and production, pharmacy, and dance. Those programs, it is a priority to apply by November 1st. You need to have your application in so that our faculty have time to actually review and craft their class. All other programs you can choose between November 1st or January 15th. That is totally fine by us. Lastly, with financial aid, we offer a slew of financial aid programs: merit-based scholarships based on your application and academics, departmental scholarships for different programs, mainly in the arts, sciences, creative writing, journalism, those types of programs, and then need-based aid that range from first-generation scholarships, scholarships based on different programs. There's a ton of them that I can't get to in time. We offer about 86% of our incoming classes financial aid in a number of different ways, with those averages being between $28,000 and $30,000 a year. If you would like to know more, I'm going to put up, this is our entire team. You can see me over here. Look for my smiling face. I'm going to be the one that you want to talk to, Garrett Addison, and then I'll drop some links if you want to do any type of virtual programming with us. I think that I'm now out of time, and that flew by really quickly. Thank you all so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Garrett. Okay, I'm going to share the screen real quick. So our partners at the University of Redlands haven't been able to join us quite yet, so we're going to go to California Lutheran University.
Yes, hi everyone, welcome. My name is Diana Hernandez. I am an admission counselor here at the Office of Undergraduate Admission, and I'm also a proud Cal Lutheran alum. And I am more than happy to be here with you guys, share some information. It's California Lutheran University. We're located in Thousand Oaks, California. Like a lot of my colleagues, we are in Southern California, right between Santa Barbara and Los Angeles. As we look at an overview of Cal Lutheran, you'll see we have just over 3,000 undergraduate students with an average class size of 17 and a 15-to-1 faculty to student ratio. As an alum, I always like to share with students, if you don't want professors to know your name, we may not be for you. And I am 100% okay saying that. I don't want to promise something I know you wouldn't be able to receive if you were to be on our campus, and that is that our faculty are going to care. If you see them walking by Starbucks and you have them in a class, they're going to wave, they're going to stop and say hello. If you are both walking to your class, they're going to say, like, let's walk together, let's catch up. And that's something that as an alum, I really appreciated. To highlight a couple more percentages and numbers here, 27% of our students do identify as being first generation in their family to attend college, and we are a minority majority school, meaning majority of our students do identify as coming from underrepresented backgrounds. Cal Lutheran is proud to be a Hispanic serving institution. We gained our designation in 2016. At its very basic 101 level, it means that at least 25% of our students do identify as Latinx or Hispanic. Despite what the name says, it may allude to us serving just our Hispanic students, but that is very far from the truth. We are looking at all of our traditionally underrepresented students and making sure that they have the support, the system, the mentors to really be able to succeed, enjoy their time on campus, and continue on in their educational journeys. Something that's really important across all of our majors is experiential learning. As an institution, we want our students out in the field, making sure that what they think they want to do is truly what they want to do. We don't want you to spend 4 years preparing to do something and then realizing maybe it's not what you thought it was. And so we want you out there making sure that it is what you want to do, but also making those connections with different networks that will be able to write you amazing letters of recommendation as you're looking to apply to different internships, jobs, and of course, graduate school as well. To study abroad in over 80 different countries that could literally take you around the world, internships with big name companies. And we have our career service office, and our career service office will help you practice for an interview, negotiate a salary, write your cover letter. And my favorite thing is that it is a lifelong service. So even 25 years after graduation, if you want to change your career, if you want to revamp your resume, negotiate a salary at a place that you've been at a couple of years, you're always welcome to go back to them and they will help you at no additional cost. And then of course, research. Research is something that all of our students are able to do regardless of major. As a student, I typically thought of research in those typical science, biochemistry, chemistry, but the truth is we have students doing research in mathematics and theater arts as well. And those have been actually some of my favorite presentations to go to and see what our students are able to learn and really guide their professors are able to guide them through that learning process. Now, in terms of living on campus, we do have some of the nicest residence halls in California. There is no communal restroom that you go down the hall and share with everyone on your floor, which was definitely a perk for me. That's something I enjoyed. We do have guaranteed housing and parking for our students all 4 years. And there is also no additional cost for parking or laundry services on campus. You're able to do your laundry on campus at no additional cost. Dining is a great option for our students in terms of there's a lot of variety. We have our Ullman Commons, which is pictured down below on the right. It is an all-you-care-to-eat buffet for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, which is great. They, like I said, they vary. They're always going to have your pizza, salad bar, sandwich, but they also try to mix it up. And we also have Starbucks, Jamba Juice, and The Habit on campus, and students are able to use their meal plan at any one of those locations. Now, in terms of applying to campus, we are Common App exclusive, so that is the only way to apply for admission. Cal Lutheran is, and moving forward, will be test optional. And so if you have those test scores, feel free to send them our way. We do super score, but if you don't, please don't feel like you have to figure out where you can go take them or anything along those lines. We are happy to review your application, and your application will not be weighed any differently if you are not able or choose not to send us those test scores. The only pieces that we will require is your official high school transcripts and a letter of recommendation. And this does need to be from a teacher or a counselor so that we're really able to get to know you a little bit more. Now, deadlines, we also have 2 deadlines for admission. November 1st is early action. It is not binding, so you're not committing to coming to Cal Lutheran. And then we have our regular decision deadline, which is January 1st. Either one of these deadlines, you will automatically be considered for scholarships that go up to $25,000. It is at the time of admission, renewable all 4 years, as long as you maintain great academic standing. If you apply by your November 1st deadline, you will also be considered for a presidential scholarship that goes up to full tuition. And then we also have a public price promise, where if you're admitted into select UCs, we will match their average cost of attendance. And so that's a great opportunity for students as well. We have visual performing arts scholarships that can also go up to full tuition. There is a separate application, an audition, and portfolio submission process that you will need to go through. So it is important that you kind of get started on that as soon as possible. I'm also going to drop my contact information. You're welcome to reach out to me about any one of our scholarships. You'll see down below is our kind of our sticker cost or cost of attendance, or what is estimated, but really most of our students do have some sort of financial aid that they're able to use. So this is our contact information. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions, and thanks for joining us today.
Awesome, thanks, Diana. Okay, next up, we are going to Whittier College.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Let me just share my screen and we'll get started. Awesome. So hello again, my name is Casey Shubin. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm the campus visit coordinator here at Whittier College. Much like my colleagues, we are also located in Southern California, right in between downtown Los Angeles and downtown Disney. And we are a 4-year liberal arts institution. So Whittier is a nationally respected college of the liberal arts and sciences, and our liberal arts curriculum really encourages our students to explore ideas from many different fields. So whether it's history, business, chemistry, or psychology, you'll be making connections between your different classes. And our environment really encourages our students to challenge yourself and to try new opportunities. We currently have about 1,700 students, so that really allows for that small class sizes and the benefit of a more personalized learning and hands-on experience. So with an average class size of about 19 students, this means that our students have opportunities to receive that one-on-one attention and access to their professors. The welcoming classroom setting really allows our students to feel comfortable asking questions and actively engage in classroom discussions and activities. So when it comes to academic programs specifically, Whittier gives you many choices. Our students can choose from over 30 majors, among the most popular being biology, kinesiology, business administration, and psychology. We also have pre-professional programs like pre-med, pre-physical therapy, as well as a 3-2 engineering program in partnership with the University of Southern California. So our students can double major, combine a major with any of our 40 minors, which are marked by the asterisk. We also have a special program for our students that already have a specific postgraduate path in mind called our Whittier Scholars Program, or WSP for short. So WSP students can tailor their major and any coursework around a field or career that they're interested in pursuing. So some of these have been like public health and tourism, business strategies and film production, or even institutions and social justice. So this liberal arts curriculum really gives you that freedom to explore what you're interested in. And we also don't require you to choose a major until the end of your sophomore year. So Whittier is recognized as one of the most diverse liberal arts colleges in the entire country. And our student body really reflects that diversity that Southern California is known for. So you'll encounter a variety of races, ethnicities, religions, economic backgrounds, gender identities, and international students from around the globe. We also have over 70 student organizations here. So everything from Student Senate to societies, Food Recovery Network, and many more things to get involved in. When it comes to athletics specifically, we have 11 sports for men and 11 for women, and about 1/3 of our students take part in athletics at the collegiate level. We are an NCAA Division III school, so that means that even though we take sports seriously, the #1 priority is always going to be academics, and the coaches definitely respect that. And so the goal really is to be a true scholar athlete. Another exciting aspect of Whittier is how many chances you have for hands-on learning. So no matter what major you select, there will be an element of that hands-on learning aspect. So within the class, you'll put what you're learning to practice through labs, group projects, having class even outside in the community. And if you do have class outside in the community, students take advantage of many internships found on campus around the Los Angeles or Orange County area as well. And our students also take on fellowships, so work and research with faculty. And so there are many ways to get involved in the community for service projects. And what better way to experience that hands-on learning than studying abroad? And so our study abroad program allows students to go to different countries, either for a year or for a semester. And each student is automatically given a Global Poet Scholarship. So that is $2,000 towards your study abroad adventure. So we highly encourage you to take advantage of this and to use that for a study abroad adventure. So in addition to that Global Poet Scholarship, we have additional means for financial aid, one of them being our John Greenleaf Whittier Scholarship. So every applicant is considered for this scholarship, and it's a 4-year renewable award that ranges from $15,000 all the way up to $36,000 a year, based on your academic record and overall strength to the college. So you don't even need to apply for this, you're automatically considered for it once you apply. Also, based on your FAFSA results, this will give you access to institutional grants, federal, state financial aid, also if you qualify for work study or student loans, things like that. Our leadership scholarship and talent scholarships are available to our students who have been admitted. So these are supplemental applications. You either have to show a portfolio, write a supplemental essay describing your leadership or describing your talent in the arts, such as music, theater, tech, theater, art, things like that. And so you have additional ways to get monies there. And lastly, we partnered with Raise Me. And so it's a platform you can make an account right now, type in Whittier College, add that to your list of schools you're interested in, and start earning those micro scholarships. Once you do, if you apply to Whittier, end up getting accepted and enroll, then you'll be able to cash in on those funds. And lastly, here's our admissions process. So much like my colleagues, we are also a Common App school. And so we will need your personal statement, letter of recommendation, transcripts, and we are also a test optional school. And we have been even prior to the pandemic. And so you also see some of our stats on the right there for fall 2020. Again, there's no minimum GPA or test score requirement to be admitted into Whittier. We are a holistic we do our admissions process holistically. So that means although your academic performance will be a primary factor in your admissions decision, every part of your application will be considered upon evaluation. And with that, it looks like I'll have to wrap up. You see our admissions plans there. We're still accepting applications until April 1st. So again, if you do have any further questions, feel free to let me know. And the last thing I do want to mention is that we have eliminated our application fee, so it's free to apply to Whittier. And look forward to answering your questions. Thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Casey. Okay, and last but certainly not least, we are going to Occidental College with Courtney.
Thank you so much. It is such a joy to be here. I'm really excited to get to speak about Occidental with all of you, especially to be just in the company of so many other exciting Southern California colleges. Well, at Oxy, we are liberal arts and colleges sciences in the heart of Los Angeles. And to kind of think about what makes us a little bit unique, since you are learning about so many different schools today, it's, I think, helpful to point out that the majority of our peer colleges are in really rural or suburban areas where Oxy is located in the heart of Los Angeles. We are also really known for our diverse and very, very collaborative community. So if being at a liberal arts school, being in a big city, and being in a community that is going to encourage and support you is what you are looking for, then hopefully Oxy will end up on your list. You can see our campus here. We are the shaded area in the bottom of the picture. So just about 8 miles from LA, all of the fun from downtown, all of the fun LA things that we might think of like Hollywood or the beach are certainly things our students have access to, but also the Los Angeles neighborhoods surrounding the campus, just are areas that mean a lot to our students. We love going off campus for coffee and breakfast burritos and vegan ice cream and pop-up donut shops and all sorts of great local flavors. And actually, Highland Park, where York Boulevard is, has recently been named one of the hippest neighborhoods in the world, which is of course really fun to learn about and take part in, but also is not so coded language for gentrification and something that our students are really passionate about and actually really invested in supporting our community and making sure that people are not displaced because of trends and coffee shops and other things that we might be taking advantage of. As a College of Liberal Arts and Sciences, All of our students get the opportunity to study the arts, the humanities, the sciences, and the social sciences, regardless of their major. And this is through our core program. And the core is not a list of classes you have to take to graduate. The core really is subject areas that you get to explore based on your own interests. Our core program starts in the first year with a cultural studies program. And these are small classes geared at introducing you not only to your fellow students, but to the research and writing, critical thinking skills you'll be using throughout Occidental. Here you can see our 34 different academic majors and 10 additional minors. The majority of our majors can also be a minor, and you'll see that there are as many programs in the sciences as there are in the arts and the humanities. Oxy's most popular majors each year tend to be politics, biology, diplomacy and world affairs, kinesiology, sociology, and psychology. But we're also really well known for some of our smaller majors like critical theory and social justice, which looks at the history of race and prejudice and bias in society. We also have a program called Comparative Studies in Literature and Culture, which allows you to study a language in the literature that was written in that language. And we even have a food studies program, which is one of the only ones of its kind in the country. All of our Oxy students participate in research. In fact, we have funded research programs through our undergraduate research center, and Oxy sends more students to the Southern California Research Conference than any other college in the state, which we're very, very proud of, being one of the smallest schools in the state with just 2,000 students. We also have a marine biology research institute, and our students can actually get scuba certified and do their research in the water, which is a fabulous advantage of being in Los Angeles. We have students who are learning in the city as part of the classroom. One of these pictures shows our urban and environmental policy major doing actual courses on bikes going around the city. We really invest in bringing guests to the campus. In fact, the mayor of LA is actually a former Oxy faculty member. We have really close ties with City Hall with internship and research opportunities throughout the city. We also have a huge emphasis on study abroad. 75% of our students go to other countries, and we have semester programs, we have research programs in other countries. We even have classes that take field trips to other countries, which is really incredible. And we have a few programs off campus, even within the United States, that are really profound and exciting for our students. For example, we have an internship program at the United Nations, and all the other interns at the UN are graduate students, except for the 14 to 16 Oxy students that we send there each year. Oxy students live on campus, and Oxy actually guarantees housing for all 4 years. We do require housing for the first 3 years because we're just really invested in our students building relationships with each other. And being in such a diverse campus, you are truly learning from each other in and out of the classroom. Our average class size is just 19 students. Our student faculty ratio is 10-1. So not only are you building relationships with your fellow students in these living and learning communities, but you're really connecting with the faculty and the staff as well. And our students are really, really engaged. You know, in small classes, you're asking lots of questions and you're participating, you're not getting to sit in the back row, but also you see this reflected in campus life with our over 100 clubs, with our fraternities and sororities, with our athletics. We are also a Division III school. In fact, we are in an athletic conference with many of the colleges here today, and our students are really engaged with being excellent students and excellent athletes if they want to play one of these sports, or if they don't play athletics, have access to all of the facilities that are provided on campus. At Oxy, we see alumni going into every possible field after they graduate. We have as many graduates working in the for-profit sector as we do the nonprofit or the public sector. And we have a career center that is working with students individually throughout all 4 years, as well as after graduation. 90% of Oxy students have an internship before they graduate. On average, actually have 2 internships, which is awesome. And I think a real reflection of being in LA and just the range of industries and career experiences that is available here. We also send 70% of our alumni onto graduate school, which is 20% higher than the national average, and something that we believe our very research-oriented campus prepares our students for continued study. If you were interested in applying to Oxy, we would use the common application, and we are test optional for students who will be applying to Oxy next year. And we really look forward to getting to know you in this process. So interviews are highly encouraged, and that's something you could sign up for starting this summer. And then lastly, you should know that if you are admitted to Oxy, we do meet 100% of demonstrated needs. So we will make sure anyone who is admitted can actually afford to attend. And if you have any questions, I'll include information in the chat and look forward to hearing from you all more.
Awesome. Thank you, Courtney. Okay, students, if you have any questions for our presenters, now would be a great time to throw them in the Q&A, and we would be happy to answer those. In the meantime, I'm going to ask all of our presenters if you want to join me back on camera. We have a few extra minutes, actually about 11 extra minutes here at the end of the session. So we're going to do a little rapid fire Q&A to end the session. So we are going to start with the first question. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And we will go in the same order that you presented originally.
All right, so that starts with me. So what advice would I give? I think one of my best pieces of advice is doing exactly what you're doing right now, which is start your research and start this kind of process early and really spend the time to reflect on what it is that you actually want out of this college experience. Start with the big questions like, what state do you want to be in? Do you want to be somewhere big or small or medium sized? And then start to narrow once you get there, not just like, do they have my major, but does the school's like kind of philosophy go with what I am hoping to accomplish in my college experience? The more of that thinking that you do now and over the summer and before you apply, the better, because that'll make your final decision that much easier. So I applaud you for coming and taking advantage of programs like this, where you can see lots of different colleges all at one time, and you can be like, I don't know about that one, but this one's intriguing. So definitely keep doing things like this.
I think the biggest piece of advice would be try to connect with students that are on that campus. I think that we all understand our schools. We are paid to do this, but you're going to get really good anecdotal data from students that are living, eating, and breathing the experience. So try to connect with students. If there's a way to do so on the college's website, awesome. If not, reach out to us and see if we can connect you with a student, maybe in your major or from your hometown. I think that that is my number one. Find a student and talk to them about their experience.
I like to also tell students to keep their options open and don't rule out a school until you check them out a little bit. If, of course, they don't have your major, then yes, maybe like that might not be a right fit. But don't let, I think it's this, take out any one of your schools from any list. Like, check us out, spend a little bit of time. It doesn't mean a little bit of work for you all, but who knows, maybe that school that you thought was X ends up being Y, and that was going to be a good fit for you. So don't rule schools out so quickly.
I definitely agree with my colleagues here. I would add, write down what you're feeling when you talk to a counselor or when you attend a virtual tour. Oftentimes that is the freshest, when you're like, you get that feeling of, oh yeah, that fits my philosophy or whatever it may be. So make sure, keep a note of that, because you'll probably be sifting through many schools. And in addition to that, advocate for yourself. If you want to ask for more financial aid, there's no harm in asking. And sometimes a lot of these, or at least I'll speak on behalf of Whittier, we have some funds set aside for those students who do ask. So if, definitely be an advocate for yourself and write down all those feelings that you have.
I guess my last piece of advice would be to allow yourself to listen to yourself. Like, you might have preferences that you don't think you're allowed to act on. Like, I don't want to go somewhere cold, or I don't want to go somewhere hot, or I want to be far from my family, or I want to be close to my family. And you don't have to talk yourself out of those. Those are good instincts, and you're going to be more successful and more happy with where you end up if you do trust kind of those inner urges that sometimes we try to talk ourselves out of just because of all of the thinking and processing. So just make room for that as well.
Awesome. Okay. Next question. Oh yeah, there we go. What is your favorite event or tradition on your campus?
So I would say my favorite tradition is also my favorite place on campus. It's a spot called the Graffiti Wall. So this is a place where every graduating class gets a place on the wall where they'll paint a mural of some kind meant to be representative of their time at Scripps. And every student will also sign their name to the wall as well. So it's kind of like a living manifestation of the legacy of Scripps. It's like a time capsule, and I'm a big history nerd, so I think it's funny or good. And there are some that are just kind of odd and really funny. So it's an irreverent place on campus, and I think it's really cool. I'll change my virtual background in just a second so you can see it.
I love that. My favorite it's called Midnight Breakfast. It happens every finals week. We'll have several staff and faculty serve breakfast to the students, and then we get some of the on-campus organizations, our a cappella groups, our dance groups, to perform. It happens at 10 p.m., which I've always been like, make it at midnight, a true midnight breakfast, but whatever, 10 p.m. breakfast doesn't sound great. But it's just a nice time to de-stress before you go into this finals week where everyone's like, okay, gotta focus, gotta do this. It's also really great food. Free food is never a bad thing.
I would say mine is similar to my colleague Jessica over at Scripps. We have Up in Our Mountains CLU spelled out in rocks. And so every incoming class, so it's not when you're graduating, but every incoming class as part of orientation, you hike up to the rocks and you kind of give the rocks a fresh paint or a fresh coat of paint. And it ends up being a giant paint fight between like all of like your other incoming students. And so it's a great way to just have fun. It's like scary to be in a new place. You're going through orientation. You're like, am I absorbing all the information I need to? So it's just a nice time to let loose and have fun. So it's probably one of my favorite traditions.
At Whittier, we have what we called our Light Up Learning Ceremony. So your first year, you come and it's a ceremony held with students, faculty, staff. You're given a candle. There's a big speech. Everybody lights their candle, and it's a symbol of passing knowledge from one person to the next, right? To represent your journey that you're about to embark on. And then at the end of your either 2 or 4 years, that same ceremony is held. However, there's an emphasis on blowing out your candle, ending the learning at Whittier, and then starting that learning elsewhere. So we were still able to hold it in a virtual capacity this year, so we were really excited to continue that tradition, but that's just something fun that we do here.
Oxy's biggest tradition is an annual event called Dance Production. And this is a student choreographed dance recital where we end up having every kind of possible form of dance. So we have contemporary and hip hop and ballet, but usually also a huge hula number and Bollywood and Irish step dancing and just whatever else students are excited and inspired by. And I think what makes this the most Oxy-ness of it is that there are no auditions. So anyone who wants to participate can, whether you've ever danced a day in your life or not, which is why we end up with 300 participants each year. And it's just the biggest moment of joy, because if you're not in the show, then you know like 12 people who are, and you are going to go there and support them and cheer for them and encourage them and just be so excited that they are doing this thing and trying this thing that they've never tried before. And hopefully at one point in your 4 years at Oxy, you will participate as well.
Very cool. I want to go back to all of your colleges. Okay, our last question for today is, there we go. Give an interesting or fun fact about your school. Either one, a new one that you haven't shared already, or feel free to expand on one that you've already shared. If you could pick just one thing to leave on today.
I think I'm going to talk about another one of my favorite traditions on campus, which is actually, I have a virtual background of this too, so I'll switch to that in a minute as well. So there's a library on the Scripps campus called the Dennison Library that has these big, beautiful carved wooden doors, and they will only open twice a year, and you will pass through them twice. One is on your very first day. So you will, they'll open the doors, you process into the library, you sign a book saying you're officially a Scripps student, you shake hands with the president, and then you go out this kind of like weird little side door in the back. And that's the door that you'll use for the next 4 years as you're coming and going and studying in the library. And then on your very last day, in all of your graduation regalia, which at Scripps for some reason is seafoam green, it's a look, then you will process out of the library into the commencement ceremony. So it's kind of this beautiful beginning and ending thing. But one thing I really love is there's actually a new aspect to this tradition that just started in the last few years. And it's on when you declare your major, you go to in the front of the doors with your paperwork and you have a little photo shoot with your friends because you're officially declaring your major that day. So it's kind of a special little spot on campus for those academic milestones.
You know, I probably have like 100 different fun facts and none of them are coming to mind because I'm put on the spot. So here's what I'm going to go with. We have a number of different fountains across campus. There are so many and they're different, and some have rocks in them and some it's a big globe. Anyway, one of the biggest things that our students like to do is fountain hop in the fountains, go from one to the next, you know, all the time. It's hot down here. It's nice to cool off. It actually got banned from campus to fountain hop a number of years ago. Has that stopped students? Absolutely not. And I will fully support them if I see them in the fountains. So if you come to Chapman, go fountain hopping. I will support you. You can tell them Garrett sent you.
I love that. Same thing. Can't think of any right now as an alum too. This is a little embarrassing. But what I will share is we've been privileged enough to really open up new spaces for our students pretty much at least every other year. And so we have our Swenson Science Center that just opened up this coming fall. And we're excited to be able to welcome more students in the fall, this coming fall, so fall 2021, because most of our students haven't been able to see it. And so it's a 3-story building, brand new. I was one of the lucky few that got a chance to have an actual in-person tour, masks, everything, of course, social distancing. And it's one of my favorite buildings on campus, even though I was not a science major.
So at Whittier, we are not known to have a really nice mascot. Our mascot are the poets. I think we're actually ranked like the 3rd worst mascot in California, perhaps, but hey, we roll with it. Something that's pretty cool. So the guy that founded Whittier College, John Greenleaf Whittier, he actually had a pet squirrel back in the day, and his name was, the pet squirrel's name was Friday. So a lot of students on campus just dubbed Friday the squirrel as the official mascot.
I love that. And I'll just end with our little fun fact being that President Obama went to Oxy, and I love showing off this baby picture of him. You can see his fabulous Hawaiian shirt and hair standing outside one of our fountains. So certainly another Oxy tradition as well. So we're particularly proud of him, but kind of like to think that maybe he was just like the first president who went to Oxy. So maybe some of you will join us and be the next in line.
That's great. Okay, thank you all so much for sharing. That wraps up our presentations for today. So thank you to all of our presenters. Thank you to all of our students for joining us as well. If you have any last questions, throw them in Q&A right now. But when you do close your Zoom session, there will be a very quick 4-question survey. If you don't mind filling that out for us, we'd really appreciate any feedback that you have. Don't forget, we have more sessions after this. So check that StriveScan website where you signed up for any additional sessions you might be interested in, as well as the session recording will be posted there within about a week or so. So thanks again for being here. Have a great afternoon, and we will see you in the next session.